another pro-life bill. We don't need another regulation.
Malice, aforethought, premeditation.
That is mercy.
I've got a couple of really astonishing clips of an anti-abortion rally from a group who endorsed the Oklahoma Republican in this week's special election, so we're going to dive right into that. But first, if you can, take a moment, leave us a like. It really helps us out, helps the video grow, and without further ado, let's get right into this one.
These abortion pills are not manufactured in our state. But even if they were, we would be left with the same law protecting the abortionist who is taking the pill. The pill's not the problem. The gun is not the problem. The murderer is the problem. And so we're still going to be left at the end of the day in any number of bills with the same problem. We protect a class of murderers who have malice, aforethought, premeditation, and kill their own child.
The framing of this is just disgustingly disingenuous. To pretend that women are getting abortions because they're like acting in malice against children or like want to be murderers and aren't just, victims of sexual assault, those with health complications, the mom who already has 3 kids. It also forgoes those whose financial situation just wouldn't allow it. I mean, there's plenty of situations one could fathom. These are tough choices that aren't made out of malice is the point. Often it's desperation. And I think pretending anything else is escaping reality. At the end of the day, concepts evolve, right? For humans, sex has evolved into more of a recreational activity for everyone outside of a religious grounding who they just want to presuppose some culpability or responsibility if you engage in it that really just doesn't exist. Engaging in X doesn't justify Y outcome. If I leave my door open, that doesn't mean I have to let the person rob me, right? And the fetus also isn't a person until it has the ability to deploy a conscious experience. Before then, it's literally just a human corpse. I don't give things rights off what they might be. That logic would have us giving 10-year-olds alcohol because they will be 21.
We don't need another pro-life bill. I tell you, the state of Oklahoma, we have enough pro-life bills that we could wallpaper the inside of Governor Stitt's mansion. We don't need another pro-life bill. We don't need another regulation. We need to end abortion. We need to make it where a woman, if you decide to murder your child, you're going to suffer the consequences. It's called orange better become your color. That is mercy.
And to be clear, this is always the end goal for the right. As much as they want to play and pretend, oh, we're just moderates in the states and this, they just know they don't right now have the political capital to ban abortion full stop, or they literally would. They just want to remove as much agency and choice away from women as possible, which is why it's no surprise that many of the people who support these things are also like the repeal the 19th, women shouldn't vote people, or they think that women shouldn't lead or work at all because it's all part of an overarching branch of thought that just sees women as subservient. Here's the cold facts, right? Abortions save lives, mothers' lives, people's lives, right? They foster an environment where women can start families when they are ready and willing, not when they are forced because they were sexually assaulted or their birth control didn't work. And if we really cared about any of this, right, we would be addressing the socioeconomic conditions that lead people to not be ready or willing to start a family, poverty, income inequality, the fact that wages have been stagnant since the 70s. We would address the education system. We would have guaranteed childcare for all, universal health care for all. Pregnancy is like a $15,000 procedure. Postpartum care is expensive. Also, who knows what other complications could arise. We need tax incentives for families when they're starting, child tax credits. We need free preschool, kindergarten with free meals for all students in all grades. But of course, Republicans will never do any of this because they don't actually value family. They don't actually value life. They don't actually value children or others at all. Only their own pocketbook. And they're like, well, that sounds like a lot of tax money. And again, they instead just want to control women. So this is the avenue they see to do so without having to what? Expend too much money.